The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber swung open with a deep, resonant hum. The sound echoed through the cavernous hall, drawing the attention of hundreds of alien delegates. Their conversations fell silent as they turned to witness the arrival of the newest species to stand before the Council ambassador. Olivia Winters stepped through the threshold, her heart pounding in her chest, but her face betraying none of her anxiety. She led the small human delegation into a chamber larger than any stadium on Earth. The ceiling arched so high above that it disappeared into a simulated nebula swirling with stars and cosmic dust. The walls curved in a perfect circle lined with ascending tiers where representatives from over 800 species sat in judgment. The central platform floated in midair, suspended by technology beyond human understanding. 5 massive beings sat upon ornate thrones, their forms varied and alien. The Founding Five, as they were known, created the Galactic Council 50,000 years before humans had even discovered. Fire Olivia felt the weight of every eye in the chamber. She wore the formal blue uniform of Earth Alliance adorned with a simple silver pin of Earth. The 3 other human delegates followed her in perfect formation just as they had practiced countless times. They represented the first official human delegation to the Galactic Council after the discovery of Earth by Galactic Scouts just 3 years prior. The Council chamber fell completely silent as Olivia and her team reached the speaker platform. A holographic display appeared before her, showing the translation protocols activating countless species would hear her words in their native tongues. The moment humanity had prepared for had arrived. High Counselor Vexer, a towering insectoid being with compound eyes that shimmered with intelligence, leaned forward, mandibles clicking. Its voice boomed through the chamber. Humans of Earth, you stand before the Galactic Council accused of illegal expansion into protected sectors, weapons development exceeding your civilization tier, and biological tampering classified as Level 9 violations. How do you respond to these charges? The delegates erupted in noise. Some shouted, others clicked, hissed, or flashed bioluminescent patterns on their skin. The accusations were severe enough to warrant planetary quarantine, or worse. Olivia had expected this. The Intelligence Division had intercepted communications suggesting that several powerful trading federations had pushed for these charges. They feared human ingenuity and adaptability, seeing Earth as a potential future competitor. Instead of immediately answering, Olivia touched a small device on her wrist. A hologram sprang to life above the human delegation, showing the solar system and the minimal expansion humanity had achieved, then expanding outward to show the vastness of the galaxy. With thousands of inhabited systems, esteemed counselors, representatives of the galactic community, she began, her voice calm and measured. We come before you not as violators of galactic law, but as its newest advocates. We recognize the gravity of these accusations and request the right of evidence examination as guaranteed by Article 7 of the Galactic Charter. The chamber fell silent again. Many species looked to one another in surprise. Humans were not supposed to know about Article 7. It was an obscure procedural rule that required accusers to present evidence before the accused needed to enter. A plea vexer clicked its mandibles, and what humans had learned indicated surprise. The charter and its full contents were typically restricted to species who had been council members for at least one standard galactic cycle, roughly equivalent to 50 Earth years. How had these humans discovered this procedural protection? High Counselor Thala, a being composed of what appeared to be living crystal light, refracting through her form as she moved, addressed the chamber. The humans invoke Article 7. As is their right under our laws, the accusers must present evidence before a plea is required. The delegation from the Mercantile Alliance, a powerful group of trading species, rose from their section. Their spokesperson, a corpulent being with multiple eye stalks, gesturing wildly. This is outrageous. The evidence is clear. Humans have established outposts beyond their authorized expansion zone. Their weapons research continues unchecked. They have modified their own biology using techniques forbidden to Tier 7 civilizations. Olivia remained calm as holographic evidence appeared, showing human outposts in supposedly restricted space. But she was prepared. If the Council will permit, we would like to examine the boundary markers established by the Expansion Committee, she requested. When the markers appeared in the holographic display, she touched her device again, enhancing the image. The committee can clearly see that the markers were moved after our outposts were established. The original boundary approved by the Preliminary Contact Division was 3 light-years further. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The accusers shifted uncomfortably. As for the weapons development, Olivia continued, have developed defensive capabilities proportionate to the threats we have encountered since joining the galactic community. Our records show 17 unauthorized incursions into our space, including 3 attempts to harvest genetic material from Earth without consent. She displayed records of ships entering Earth space unauthorized. Several delegates looked pointedly at the representatives from the Collector Consortium, a group known for their interest in acquiring biological samples from newly discovered species. The biological modifications mentioned were medical treatments for genetic diseases, not enhancements. Olivia finished. We have documentation showing approval from the Medical Ethics Division for all procedures. High Counselor, Morax, a being of living flame contained within an environmental suit that glowed with heat, leaned forward. These are serious counter-allegations, Ambassador Winters. If true, they would constitute violations by established council members against a protected developing world. The council chamber erupted again, delegates arguing among themselves. Some demanded human removal while others called for investigation of the accusers. The founding 5 conferred among themselves, their voices too quiet for others to hear. Finally, Vexer raised a limb, silencing the chamber. We will investigate these matters fully. Until evidence is properly evaluated, the humans will be granted provisional diplomatic status. Their delegation will remain at council headquarters. Olivia bowed slightly, acknowledging the decision with appropriate respect, but inside she felt a surge of triumph. This was more than they had hoped for. Provisional status granted them diplomatic protection and access to council resources. The accusations had been expected. Earth intelligence had discovered the plot months ago, giving them time to prepare their counter-evidence. As the human delegation was escorted from the chamber to their assigned quarters, Olivia received a discreet communication from Earth Command Mission. Successful provisional status achieved. Proceed to Phase 2. Daniel Reeves. Her security chief walked beside her, his face impassive, but his eyes alert, scanning for threats. Among the towering aliens and exotic beings from across the galaxy, the humans appeared small and vulnerable, an impression Olivia cultivated deliberately. When they reached the diplomatic quarters assigned to Earth, a luxurious but clearly hastily prepared space, Daniel secured the room, activating countermeasures against surveillance. Their intelligence division had provided technology that could detect most known listening devices. Only when he nodded did Olivia allow herself to smile. That went exactly as predicted, she said. The Mercantile Alliance overplayed their hand. Elena Walsh, the cultural specialist, nodded. They expected us to be intimidated by the council chamber to make mistakes under pressure. They underestimated human preparation. Olivia replied. The intelligence division deserves credit for uncovering their plot. The evidence tampering, especially moving those boundary markers, was sloppy. Daniel frowned. Still, we made enemies today. The Mercantile Alliance controls trade routes throughout this sector. They can make things difficult for us. Olivia moved to the viewport that overlooked the massive structure of council headquarters, a space station larger than Earth's moon. It housed representatives from thousands of worlds bustling with alien life and activity. From here, decisions affecting trillions of beings across the galaxy were made daily. We expected resistance, she said. Earth is an unknown factor in their carefully balanced political system. We represent potential disruption. Some will see opportunity, others threat. Alina joined her at the window. The provisional status gives us 3 standard months to make our case for full membership. If we succeed, Earth gains protection under council law, access to technology, trade routes, cultural exchange, and a vote in galactic affairs, Daniel added. No small thing considering some of the decisions made here. Olivia turned to her team. Tomorrow we begin diplomatic outreach. Target the smaller independent worlds first, those without strong ties to the major alliances. They'll be more open to human cooperation as they discussed strategy. None of them noticed the small shimmer of movement in the corner of the room. An observer cloaked by technology, far beyond human understanding, watched with interest. These humans had surprised the council today. Their preparation knowledge and strategic thinking had turned accusations into opportunity. The observer transmitted its findings. Most interesting, perhaps these humans are more significant than we initially believed. They bear further study. In the vast council chamber, the founding five remained after other delegates had departed. Vexor addressed its peers. The humans demonstrated you. The council archive stretched before Ambassador Olivia Winters like an ocean of knowledge. The massive chamber housed data crystals containing millions of years of galactic history. Holographic interfaces glowed softly in the dimly lit space as researchers from hundreds of species accessed information. Olivia moved purposefully through the chamber, aware that her every move was being observed. It had been 2 weeks since the human delegation had been granted provisional status. Time was moving quickly, and Earth needed allies. 1 month and 2 weeks remained to secure their position. Marcus Bennett, the delegation's legal expert, walked beside her, his eyes wide at the scope of the archives. Despite his years studying interspecies law, nothing had prepared him for this. The accumulated knowledge of 8,000 years of Galactic Council proceedings surrounded them. We need precedent cases, Marcus whispered. Any previous situations where new species faced opposition from established trade conglomerates, Olivia nodded. The Mercantile Alliance was still pushing for human containment. Their representatives had filed formal complaints about Earth's technological development rate, claiming it threatened galactic stability. Without allies, the human position remained precarious. A tall willowy being approached them, its skin translucent, showing a complex network of luminous veins. The archivist's 6-fingered hands gestured to a data terminal. Ambassador Winters, the requested historical cases have been prepared for your review. The being spoke in perfect English, though its mouth did not move. The words seemed to form directly in Olivia's mind, a courtesy translation. Thank you, Archivist Tella. Olivia replied with a respectful nod. They had made a point to learn the names and proper forms of address for key council staff, a small gesture that had not gone unnoticed as they reviewed the cases. Marcus let out a low whistle. These are fascinating. 3 species in similar positions. To Earth, all within the last 1,000 years. The Varelli, the Tassans, and the Neridia. Each faced opposition from established powers, and what became of them? Olivia asked, though she had already researched the answer. The Varelli accepted protectorate. Status under the Mercantile Alliance. They exist now as a client world. Their resources harvested, their people serving as labor, Marcus said grimly. The Tassans fought back when restrictions were imposed. A brief conflict that ended with their quarantine. They remain isolated 200 years later. The Neridia, though they found a different path. Olivia's eyes narrowed on the holographic display showing the 3rd case. The Neridia, a species of aquatic beings, had faced similar accusations when discovered. They had been small in number, their technology limited, but their diplomatic approach had been revolutionary. They formed a cooperative with 17 smaller worlds. Marcus continued. Instead of challenging the major powers directly, they created an economic and cultural alliance that eventually became too valuable to ignore. Within 3 generations, they were full council members. Their cooperative now includes 39 worlds. Olivia smiled. This is what we need. Examples of successful integration without submission. Their research was interrupted when Elena Walsh, the cultural specialist, hurried into the archives. Her expression urgent. Ambassador, we've received an invitation. The Diplomatic Advisory Committee has requested your presence. At an informal gathering, Olivia exchanged glances with Marcus. This was unexpected. The advisory committee comprised representatives from 20 mid-level powers, none aligned with the major blocs. They traditionally remained neutral in disputes between new species and established powers. When Olivia Winters entered the gathering in the diplomatic quarter, she immediately noticed the diversity of species present. Representatives from at least 15 worlds stood in small groups conversing, The room featured environmental adaptations for various biological needs. Sections with different atmospheric compositions, gravity settings, and temperature zones allowed all attendees to mingle comfortably. A bipedal being with feathered skin in shimmering blues and greens approached its eyes. Black and intelligent regarded Olivia with interest. Ambassador Winters. Welcome, I am. Representative Kalor of the Freelian Confederation. The being's translation device rendered its musical language into English. We have been observing your delegation's activities with interest. It is an honor. Representative Kalor. Olivia replied. The Freelian Confederation holds an esteemed position in scientific research. I have studied your contributions to xenobiology. Kalor's feathers rippled in what Olivia recognized as pleased surprise. You have researched our people thoroughly. Most new species focus only on the major powers. Olivia smiled diplomatically. Earth believes in understanding the full complexity of galactic society. The major alliances are important, certainly, but the independent worlds and smaller confederations represent diverse perspectives. We value A's. The gathering continued. Olivia moved carefully through the room, engaging with representatives from worlds she had specifically identified as potential allies. Each conversation revealed common interests, worlds that had faced similar challenges during their integration into galactic society, species that valued innovation and diversity, cultures that had preserved their independence while navigating the complex politics of the Council. Representative Nix of Tellar, a world known for its information networks, pulled Olivia aside after an hour. Your approach is refreshing. Ambassador Most New. Species attempt to curry favor with the Founding Five or seek protection from one of the major blocks Earth seeks. Partnership, not patronage, Olivia replied. We believe in mutual benefit. Nix's skin changed color slightly, shifting from green to blue, an indication of approval. Your research in the archives did not go unnoticed. You seek to understand our history before proposing your place within it. We recognize that Earth is only one world among thousands, Olivia said, each with its own history and contributions to galactic civilization. We have much to learn, and perhaps some perspectives to offer. As the gathering concluded, Representative Kalor approached Olivia again. Several of us would be interested in a more formal discussion of potential cooperation. The Mercantile Alliance does not speak for all. The advisory committee will convene tomorrow to consider the human situation. You will be invited to present your case. Olivia returned to the human quarters with careful optimism. Daniel. Reeves was waiting, his face tense with news. The security chief activated a holographic display showing surveillance footage. Ambassador, there have been 3 unauthorized attempts to access our communications in the past 6 hours. 2 traced back to the Mercantile Alliance. The third is more concerning. It originated from within the Council Security Division. Elena frowned. The Council itself is spying on us. Not necessarily, Daniel corrected. Individual members have influence in various departments. The Council Security Division has 8,000 employees from hundreds of worlds. Marcus joined them, reviewing the legal implications. This suggests our position is being taken seriously. The Mercantile Alliance feels threatened enough to risk diplomatic incidents by spying. Olivia considered this while reviewing messages from Earth Command. Interesting timing. We've been invited to present our case to the advisory committee tomorrow. The major powers are watching us closely enough to spy, while the independent worlds extend invitations. The next day, Olivia stood before the advisory committee, 20 representatives, seated in a semicircle. Each controlled votes from multiple worlds, their combined influence significant, though not as overwhelming as the major bloc's. Ambassador Winters' representative Kalor began. The committee has reviewed your situation. Earth stands accused of violations that could restrict your development and expansion. You have effectively countered these accusations, but your position remains precarious. What do you propose going forward? Olivia activated a holographic display showing Earth and nearby star systems. The image expanded to show trade routes, resource deposits, and current political boundaries. Esteemed representatives, she began, Earth does not seek to disrupt the existing balance. We propose a mutual development initiative open to all interested worlds. Its purpose would be collaborative research, cultural exchange, and responsible resource development. Display shifted, showing potential projects. Scientific research that could benefit multiple worlds. Cultural sites where diverse species could interact. Sustainable mining operations on uninhabited planets. Each participating world would maintain full sovereignty. She continued. Resources would be shared according to contribution with oversight from neutral observers. No single species would control the initiative. Its governing board would rotate with equal representation. Questions came rapidly, each representative probing for weaknesses, hidden agendas, or threats to their interests. Olivia answered with practiced precision. The proposal had been crafted over months with input from Earth's best minds in diplomacy, economics, and interspecies relations. What guarantees do smaller worlds have that Earth won't dominate this initiative once established? Representative Nix asked pointedly. Human adaptability is well documented. You solve problems faster than most species, a fair concern. Olivia acknowledged. The initiative's charter would include dissolution provisions. Any evidence of manipulation or control by any member would trigger automatic review, with potential for reorganization or complete dissolution. This provision would be binding, verified by council legal experts. As the session continued, the mood in the chamber shifted gradually from skepticism to cautious inter. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council blazed with light as representatives from 2,000 worlds gathered for the emergency session. Tensions ran high as delegates whispered and argued in hundreds of languages, their translation devices struggling to keep pace with the heated exchanges. Ambassador Olivia Winters stood with the human delegation at the entrance. Feeling the weight of every alien gaze, news had spread quickly through council headquarters. The advisory committee had voted overwhelmingly to support the Human Mutual Development Initiative. 17 of 20 representatives had endorsed the proposal, sending shockwaves through the established power blocks. The Mercantile Alliance had immediately called for this emergency session, citing threats to galactic stability. Daniel Reeves scanned the massive chamber, his eyes narrowing at the unusual security presence. Elite council guardians, typically seen only during major crises, lined the walls, their ceremonial armor concealing advanced weapons and defenses. This isn't just about our proposal, he muttered. Something else is happening. Olivia nodded slightly. The scale of the response seemed disproportionate to a simple development initiative by a provisional species. Earth intelligence had intercepted fragments of encrypted communications, suggesting a deeper agenda, but the details remained elusive. The delegation took their assigned position on a floating platform that moved into the center of the chamber. The 5 massive thrones of the Founding Five loomed above all other seats. Currently, only 3 were occupied: High Counselor Vexor Thala and Morax. The other 2 members had not yet arrived, adding to the unusual atmosphere. High Counselor Vexor rose, mandibles clicking in a pattern that indicated formal process. Representatives of the galactic community, we convene to address concerns raised by the Mercantile Alliance regarding the provisional status of humanity and their proposed initiative. The spokesperson for the Mercantile Alliance moved their platform forward, a tall being with metallic scales that caught the light as it moved. Representative Dorn was known for aggressive advocacy of the Alliance's interests. Esteemed counselors honored. Delegates, Dorn began, voice resonating through the chamber. The situation before us represents an unprecedented threat to galactic stability. The species known as humans have been on the galactic stage mere months. Yet they propose an initiative that would redraw economic and political boundaries across 17 sectors. Holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber, showing maps of the territories potentially affected by the human proposal, resource deposits, trade routes, and political boundaries highlighted in vivid detail. These humans, Dorn continued, have demonstrated technological advancement rates that exceed safety parameters. Their proposal, while disguised as cooperation, would give them access to resources and knowledge far beyond their development tier. We have evidence suggesting they have already accessed restricted council data. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Olivia maintained a neutral expression, though internally she noted the accusation was technically true. Earth's intelligence division had indeed breached certain security protocols. a calculated risk that now threatened their position. I call for immediate revocation of their provisional status. Dorn declared, return them to Earth under quarantine. Protocols until proper evaluation over a standard century can be completed. The chamber erupted, delegates shouting arguments supporting or opposing the motion. Olivia waited for the protocol officer to recognize Earth's right to respond. As she prepared to speak, the massive doors of the chamber swung open. The noise immediately died away. The final two founding five entered together, an extremely rare occurrence. The energy being known only as the Radiant floated alongside the massive aquatic counselor, Zelban. Their arrival together signaled matters of unusual importance. High Counselor Zelban's voice resonated through the chamber. The full council has convened. This matter concerns more than trade routes and resources. The test approaches. Shock rippled through the assembly. The test was nearly mythical to most delegates, a trial that occurred only once every few millennia. Rumors and legends surrounded it, though few knew its true nature. Ambassador Winter's High Counselor Thala addressed Olivia directly. Your species has drawn our attention. Your proposal, your responses to challenges, and your rapid adaptation suggest potential. The founding five have deliberated. We offer humanity the opportunity of the test. The chamber exploded in chaos. Delegates shouted, argued, and demanded explanations. No species had been offered the test in over 15,000 years. The last to attempt it had been the Ascendant, now among the most advanced civilizations in known space. Olivia felt a moment of vertigo. The briefings from Earth Command had mentioned the possibility of the test, but had considered it highly unlikely, a theoretical scenario at best. Yet now humanity faced this legendary trial. The stakes had just increased exponentially. High Counselor, I am honored by your consideration, Olivia responded, choosing her words with extreme care. Humanity accepts this opportunity to demonstrate our worthiness. Representative Dorn moved forward aggressively. This is outrageous. The test is meant for species. With millennia of galactic citizenship, humanity has not even achieved full membership status. Their civilization is barely space-capable. The Radiant pulsed with light, silencing Dorn. The test is offered at the unanimous discretion of the founding five. Your objection is noted, Representative, but the decision stands. Vexer addressed the chamber. The human delegation will be given standard preparation time. 7 rotations to study and prepare. At that time, Ambassador Winters will face the trial of prospective success or failure will determine humanity's status for the next millennium. As the session adjourned, the human delegation was escorted back to their quarters by council guardians. The corridors buzzed with speculation, aliens of all descriptions watching the humans pass with new interest. Once secure in their quarters, Elena activated the privacy field that would block most known surveillance. Marcus immediately pulled up every historical reference to the test available in the council records they had accessed. This is unprecedented, he said, scanning the data. Provisional species are never offered the test. It's traditionally reserved for civilizations with at least 500 years of council membership. Olivia paced the room, processing the implications. Earth Command would need to be notified immediately, but secure communications were limited. What exactly is this test? Daniel asked. Marcus displayed the limited information. From what I can gather, it's different each time, designed specifically for the species being tested. It evaluates not just intelligence but wisdom, perspective, and potential. It's called the trial of perspective for a reason. It somehow tests how a species views the galaxy and their place in it. What's the success rate? Elena asked. Marcus grimaced. That's the concerning part. Only 3 species have successfully completed the test in recorded history. The last was the Ascendant 15,000 years ago. They went from mid-tier status to becoming one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, almost overnight, and the failures Daniel pressed. Those who fail typically remain at their current status, Marcus explained. But the psychological impact is significant. Failed species often become isolated, focusing inward rather than on galactic affairs. Some never recover their former influence. Olivia absorbed this information. The stakes were far higher than they had anticipated. Earth had prepared for conventional diplomacy, trade negotiations, and political maneuvering, not a mystical test that could determine humanity's fate for the next 1,000 years. We need more information, she decided. Marcus, continue research. Focus on the Ascendant. What made them successful? Daniel, contact our intelligence assets in the Council Security Division. See if they can access any classified records on the test. Alana, we need cultural context. What do the various species believe about the test? Myths, legends, anything that might contain kernels of truth as they set to work. Olivia prepared a coded message for Earth Command. The situation had evolved beyond all projections. Human destiny would now be determined not by careful diplomacy, but by a trial shrouded in mystery. Throughout Council headquarters, the news spread. Representatives hurried to secure meetings with the human delegation. Offers of assistance, information, and alliance flowed in. Some genuine, others likely traps. Olivia authorized her team to accept only meetings with species that had shown consistent neutrality or support. 3 days into the preparation period, a message arrived from an unexpected source. The Ascendant requested a private audience. The Ascendant maintained minimal presence in council affairs. Though technically members, they rarely participated in routine governance. Considered among the most advanced beings in known space, they remained mysterious, their technology and capabilities far beyond most other species. Olivia met the Ascendant, representative in a neutral diplomatic zone, a garden chamber designed to accommodate diverse biological needs. The being that awaited her appeared humanoid, though its form seemed to shift slightly when viewed peripherally. Its skin had a subtle luminescence, and its eyes contained patterns reminiscent of galaxies. Ambassador Winters, I am Ilarion of the Ascendant. It spoke without apparent translation device, its voice melodious and clear. Darkness surrounded Olivia, Winters complete and absolute. Then stars began to appear one by one until she floated in the void of space. A perspective shift occurred, and suddenly she was seeing Earth from orbit, the blue marble of humanity's home, world rotating slowly against the black backdrop of space. Beautiful, fragile, and alone. Ambassador Winters. Welcome to the trial of perspective. The voice seemed to come from everywhere, and nowhere at once. Neither male nor female, neither young nor old, it resonated with ancient power. For 10,000 generations, the Founding Five have tested species who show potential. Your kind has been chosen. Olivia found herself able to speak, though she had no physical form in this space. What exactly is this test? How am I being evaluated? The voice seemed amused by her directness. Typically human, questioning even in the face of cosmic forces. The trial is not what you expect, Ambassador. It is not a test of knowledge or even wisdom. It is an evaluation of perspective, how your species views the universe and your place within it. The scene shifted. Olivia watched the history of Earth unfold before her in accelerated time, the rise and fall of civilizations, wars and peace, technological advancement, and environmental challenges. The long, slow development of humanity compressed into what felt like minutes. You are a young species. The voice continued. Your civilization has existed for mere moments in cosmic time. Yet you have developed consciousness, awareness, art, science, philosophy, empathy. Tell me, Ambassador Winters, what defines humanity? Olivia considered, carefully aware that her answer carried the weight of her entire species. Our adaptability, she began. Our curiosity. Our capacity for both great destruction and remarkable compassion. Our ability to learn from mistakes, though we often repeat them. We contain contradictions. We aspire to nobility while struggling with our limitations. As she spoke, the scene around her transformed into a vast library. Book scrolls and data crystals stretched infinitely in all directions. Human knowledge preserved in physical form. The voice resonated through the space. An interesting answer. Not strength, not intelligence, not technological prowess. You define your species by qualities of mind and heart, by potential, rather than achievement. The library dissolved, replaced by scenes from Earth's history. Moments of both tremendous cruelty and extraordinary kindness. Warfare alongside acts of selfless heroism. Environmental destruction alongside conservation efforts. The full spectrum of human experience laid bare. Humanity is unique among tested species. The voice observed. Most evolve, slowly changing over millennia. Humans transform constantly. Your society's technology's values shift within generations. Most species find such rapid change threatening. The stability of the galaxy depends on predictability. Your kind defies prediction. Is that why we were selected for the test? Olivia asked. Because we're unpredictable. Partially, the Founding Five are divided regarding humanity. Some see potential, others danger. The test will resolve this division. The scene shifted again. Olivia found herself floating above a massive council chamber far larger than the one she had experienced. Thousands of species representatives gathered in what appeared to be a critical debate. This is the great crisis that occurred 40,000 years ago. The voice explained. The galaxy faced extinction. A cosmic phenomenon threatened all life. The council deliberated for a century, failing to reach consensus. Each species prioritized their own survival, their perspective limited by self-interest. Trillions perished before a solution emerged. Horror washed through Olivia as she witnessed the destruction of entire systems, the death of countless beings as the phenomenon, whatever it was, consumed world after world. Now observe an alternate scenario, the voice said. The scene replayed, but differently. This time, a representative spoke early in the debate, offering a solution that required sacrifice from all but saved the majority. The council acted decisively, and the crisis was largely averted. That representative came from a species that had passed the trial of perspective, the voice explained. Their perspective transcended self-interest. They saw the galaxy as an interconnected whole. Their sacrifice saved trillions. The scene dissolved. Olivia found herself facing a series of doors, each leading to what appeared to be alternate futures. Ambassador Winters, now comes the true test, the voice intoned. You must choose a path for humanity. Each represents a possible future based on fundamental perspectives. Your choice will determine your species' place in galactic affairs for the next millennium. Choose wisely. The doors shimmered with possibility. Olivia approached the first one. As she neared it, opened, revealing a vision within. Humanity had become a dominant force in the galaxy. Earth ships controlled major trade routes. Human colonies spread across hundreds of worlds. The species had achieved technological supremacy, outpacing even the oldest civilizations. Other species served human interests. The galaxy operated according to human values. Power, the voice said. This path represents dominance, the perspective that humanity's destiny is to rule, that your species' values and approaches are superior, that the galaxy would benefit from human leadership. Many species have chosen this path. Few have succeeded. Fewer still have found it satisfying. Olivia moved to the second door. It opened to reveal a different future. Humanity had isolated itself, developing technology and culture separately from galactic society. Earth had become a paradise, its people free from external influence or interference. Human potential turned inward, creating a civilization of tremendous beauty and achievement, but one that contributed little to the broader galactic community. Isolation, the voice explained, the perspective that humanity should develop independently, that outside influence corrupts, that true potential can only be achieved through self-determination, a path of safety and internal flourishing. The third door showed humanity integrated into galactic society. Human representatives participated in council affairs. Earth was one world among thousands. Neither dominant nor insignificant humans served on multi-species. Crews shared cultural achievements and participated in collaborative scientific endeavors, their unique perspective valued but not elevated above others. Integration, the voice said. The perspective that humanity is one species among many, that diversity strengthens the whole, that your place is as equals, neither rulers nor subjects. A path of balance. Olivia studied each vision carefully. Then she noticed something, a fourth door half hidden in shadows, unlike the others, more difficult to perceive. She approached it curious. The door opened reluctantly, revealing something unexpected and difficult to comprehend. This vision showed humanity constantly in flux. Humans served many roles throughout the galaxy, sometimes leaders, sometimes followers, sometimes teachers, sometimes students. Their societies, technologies, and values evolved, continuously adapting to new challenges. Their perspective shifted as they learned incorporated wisdom from ancient species while maintaining their capacity for innovation. The boundaries between human and galactic civilization blurred as humanity both influenced and was influenced by the cosmic community. Transcendence, the voice whispered. This path has rarely been seen by tested species. The perspective that evolution never ends, that identity is not fixed, that boundaries between self and other, between species and community, are fluid. A path of perpetual becoming. Olivia stood before the four doors, each representing a fundamentally different future for humanity. The choice seemed impossible. How could one person determine the destiny of an entire species? Yet she understood that her selection would not create these futures, but rather reveal humanity's true nature. The test was evaluating not just her personal choice, but the perspective she represented. Ambassador Winters, the voice prompted. You must choose. Olivia thought of Earth, of humanity's long journey from caves to stars. She remembered the briefings from Earth Command, the historical records, the philosophical traditions of her people. She recalled the Ascendant's cryptic advice about embracing contradiction and paradox. I cannot choose, she finally said. The space around her darkened ominously. You must select a path. The trial requires a choice. Olivia stood firm. These doors represent false choices. Each path contains elements of truth, but none represents humanity's full potential. We are not defined by single perspectives. We contain multitudes. Our strength lies not in commitment to one path, but in our ability to walk many simultaneously. Explain, the voice demanded. Humans are creatures of contradiction. Olivia continued. We seek power, yet value compassion. We desire independence, yet crave connection. We want to lead, yet need to learn. Our perspective is not fixed. It evolves. Each human holds different views. 7 billion individuals with unique outlooks. Yet together we form one humanity. Our civilization advances not through consensus, but through the creative tension between opposing viewpoints. The space around her shifted, pulsing with energy. What, then, do you propose, Ambassador? The voice seemed different now, more curious than commanding. Olivia gestured to all four doors, and then beyond them. I choose integration of all perspectives, and those yet unimagined. Humanity will seek power not over others, but over ourselves. We will maintain independence of thought while embracing connection with galactic civilization. We will lead where our strengths allow and follow where others show greater wisdom. We will remain distinctly human, while becoming something more. The emergency alert blared through Council headquarters, its urgency undeniable. Thousands of delegates from across the galaxy rushed toward assembly chambers, confusion and fear evident in their movements. Ambassador Olivia Winters sprinted through crowded corridors, her human delegation struggling to keep pace. The alert had interrupted diplomatic negotiations with the Freelian Confederation. 3 months after humanity's successful completion of the trial, something catastrophic has happened, Daniel Reeves said, keeping pace with Olivia. His security training evident in his watchful gaze. Council emergency protocols are only activated for existential threats. Alina consulted her data pad. Translation systems are overwhelmed. Too many species communicating at once. They reached the Grand Assembly Hall to find it in chaos. Representatives from 2,000 worlds shouted, argued, and demanded information. The Founding Five had not yet arrived, adding to the uncertainty. Ambassador Olivia called. A familiar voice. Representative Kalor pushed through the crowd. Feathers flattened in distress. A signal has been detected approaching from beyond the galactic rim. The Deep Space Monitoring Array, captured it 6 hours ago, the Council Security Division, has confirmed it matches historical records of the Harbingers. Olivia felt a chill run through her. The Harbingers were considered mythological by most species. Ancient warnings existed in the oldest Council records, but most dismissed them as legends. From a more superstitious age, are you certain? Olivia asked. Kalor's feathers trembled. The signal pattern is identical to descriptions in the ancient archives. The Founding Five have authenticated it. They are in emergency session now. Before Olivia could respond, the massive doors at the chamber's apex opened. The Founding Five entered together, a sight so rare that immediate silence fell across the assembly. High Counselor Vexer moved forward, mandibles clicking in patterns indicating extreme concern. Representatives of the galactic community, the ancient insectoid began. We face a crisis unprecedented in recent history. After 17,000 years of silence, we have confirmed the approach of the entity known in ancient records as the Harbinger Fleet. 12 massive objects moving toward Council space at sublight velocity. Their estimated arrival at the galactic rim is 14 standard days. Holographic displays activated throughout the chamber, showing the approaching objects. Each appeared to be a construct larger than any known spacecraft. Biomechanical in appearance, they defied conventional design principles. High Counselor Thala stepped forward, her crystalline form pulsing with urgency. The historical records are incomplete, but they indicate the Harbinger fleet last appeared 17 millennia ago. Their arrival preceded the Great Diminishing, a period when countless species across multiple sectors experienced rapid technological regression. Some civilizations collapsed entirely, while others lost centuries of advancement. The chamber erupted. Delegates demanding more information, shouting questions, and expressing terror. Vexor raised a limb for silence. The Founding Five have activated the ancient protocols. The Emergency Council will convene immediately. Each major power and representative alliance must select one delegate. All information will be shared in secure session. The galaxy must stand united. Representative Dorn of the Mercantile Alliance pushed his platform forward. What do these Harbingers want? Why do they cause civilizations to collapse? Morax, the Flame Counselor responded. Historical records suggest they do not communicate in conventional ways. Their purpose remains unknown, but their effect is documented. After their passage, affected civilizations experience catastrophic data loss, technological failures, and knowledge degradation, sometimes spanning centuries of advancement. Panic spread through the chamber at this revelation. The prospect of losing technological capability terrified advanced species whose survival depended on complex systems. Olivia processed this information quickly. If these Harbingers caused technological regression, their approach represented an existential threat to the entire galactic community. Millions of worlds reliant on advanced technology would face devastation. Without interstellar travel, medical technology, food production systems, and environmental controls, billions would perish. The human delegation received an immediate summons to the Emergency Council. Apparently, humanity's new status as prospective consultants granted them automatic inclusion. This ancient protocol had not been activated in recorded history. The security escort rushed them through restricted areas of Council headquarters to a chamber few knew existed. The Emergency Council chamber was smaller than the Grand Assembly, designed for focused crisis management. 50 delegates representing the major powers' independent alliances and specially designated species gathered around a central holographic display. The Founding Five occupied a raised platform overseeing the proceedings. As humanity's representative, Olivia took her assigned position beside delegates from civilizations thousands of years older than Earth's entire recorded history. The weight of responsibility pressed upon her. Earth had only just gained its position in galactic affairs. Now it faced a crisis that threatened all known space. High Counselor Vexer initiated the emergency session. The situation is grave. The Harbinger fleet approaches from the direction of the Antares Void, moving at 0.8 light speed. They will reach Council space in 14 days. The outer monitoring stations in sectors 9 through 17 will make first contact. The holographic display showed the massive objects in greater detail. Their construction defied conventional engineering. Biology and technology seemed merged in ways that even the most advanced council species found disturbing. Each harbinger measured approximately 800 kilometers in length with complex internal structures that shifted and reconfigured continuously. These are the most detailed scans available, Thala explained. Our deep space monitoring arrays captured this data 6 hours ago. Attempts to communicate have received no response. Representative Lorex of the Sentinel Concordat, a military alliance of 11 ancient species, spoke first. The records from the previous incursion suggest conventional weapons are ineffective against these entities. We must prepare defensive measures utilizing our most advanced technologies. Vexer clicked a negative pattern. The historical records specifically warn against technological escalation. Previous species that attempted to engage the harbingers with advanced weaponry experienced the most severe regression. Some lost all technology beyond basic metallurgy. Then what defense do we have? Representative Dorn demanded. We cannot simply allow these entities to enter council space unopposed. The radiant pulsed with light. The ancient protocols describe a different approach, not confrontation but concealment. The affected regions during the last incursion share a common factor. They all broadcast their technological signatures widely. Active defense systems, automated beacons, high-energy communications. Those who survived with minimal regression were civilizations that temporarily reduced their technological footprint. Murmurs spread through the chamber as delegates considered the implications. Are you suggesting we shut down our technologies? Representative Lorex asked incredulously. That we voluntarily regress to avoid having regression forced upon us. Trillions of beings depend on advanced systems for basic survival. High Counselor Zelban. The massive aquatic being spoke through translation technology. The choice is not between maintaining all technology and losing all technology. It is between temporary controlled reduction and catastrophic uncontrolled loss. The ancient protocols suggest selective technological dormancy, a hibernation of our most advanced systems until the threat passes. The implications were staggering. Olivia realized even temporary reduction of technology across council space would cause massive disruption. Interstellar trade would halt, medical emergencies would go untreated, environmental systems on thousands of worlds would fail without maintenance. The economic and humanitarian costs would be devastating. But the alternative seemed worse. If the historical records were accurate, the harbingers could cause complete technological collapse across entire sectors, setting civilization back centuries. Ambassador Winters, High Counselor, Thala addressed Olivia directly. Humanity has been granted special status as prospective consultants for this reason. Your species offers viewpoints others lack. What perspective does Earth bring to this crisis? All eyes turned to Olivia. The pressure was enormous. Earth was the newest council member yet now asked to provide guidance in an unprecedented crisis. She thought carefully before responding. Humanity has faced existential threats throughout our history. She began. Natural disasters, wars, pandemics, resource depletion. We've survived because of two key qualities: adaptability and preservation of knowledge. She moved to the central display, adjusting it to show historical human responses to disasters. When civilizations faced collapse, humans preserved essential knowledge in multiple forms, she explained. During Earth's darkest ages, knowledge was kept in monasteries, hidden libraries, oral traditions. When technologies failed, we maintained skill-based knowledge, the ability to create, rebuild, and adapt without advanced tools. The representatives listened with interest, many seeing human history in detail for the first time. I propose a dual approach. Olivia continued. First, selective technological dormancy, as the ancient protocols suggest, but with